Hey, what's up, Elyson? If you live in Elyson, just like I live in Elyson, you might be wondering what's going on with real estate right here in Elyson. I get questions about this often as to what's happening here in town and how are we faring compared to Sunterra, Marvida, so on and so forth. So I thought I would take a look at the data, not just Houston general data, but the data right here, and dive in and share what we're finding right now here in Elyson. So the first thing I want to look at is buyer demand in these three communities. We saw an uptick here in Elyson, but we didn't see that in Sunterra, we didn't see that in Marvida. So we saw a 6% decrease in Sunterra, and we saw a 27% decrease in Marvida. At the same time, we saw a 17% increase here in Elyson. Now, the average in August increase over all of Houston in general was around 11.9. So that's what a normal number looks like. You got to keep in mind that this data can be a little bit deceptive because it really depends on development. The majority of the demand for houses in this area is new construction. And when a community is getting near the completion phase of their construction, you can see numbers look very negative when in fact maybe they're not quite as bad on the resale side as it might look. A better metric to look at in terms of supply and demand in any given community is months of inventory. The reason months of inventory is important is because it shows us how long it would take with the given demand that we have seen to take up all of the inventory that's currently listed in the market. And in August, we saw Sunterra had 5.6 months of inventory, Marvida had 4.1 months of inventory, and Elyson had 5.3 months of inventory. Houston as a whole had about 5.4 months of inventory across the greater HAR. Although we do see a significant increase, 17% in buyer activity here in Elyson, it's very important to be priced correctly. This is because we have an elevated months of inventory currently in our market. And we're way above the 2019 levels here in Elyson. That means that if you're selling in today's market, you do need to be priced according to your competition. It's important that you not only look at what's sold and how it's moving, but looking at active competition as well in today's market. When we look at price here in Elyson, the median price per square foot for homes in 2024 was $185 per square foot. In 2025, it's around $182. Now this is heavily weighted with new construction, as 71% of the homes in August this year were new construction that sold out. I've seen existing inventory here in Elyson range quite a bit from $130 a square foot all the way up over $200 a square foot. It really depends about finishes and the type of house you have, along with the current competition right here in Elyson. Most people don't realize that 2024 was one of the worst real estate recessions we have seen in a long time. It was actually worse than 2008, yet we have millions of more people and millions of more homes. Pricing did not have the same reaction as we saw in 2008, and that's because we're in completely different markets. The fundamentals are widely different from 2008. If you look at vacancies across Texas, we're near the median in terms of vacancy rates. If you look at delinquent mortgages in the United States, we're near an all-time low. The data supports strong and healthy housing market, and we're starting to see now the gap between mortgage rates and bond yields start to narrow out, signaling much more confidence in real estate going forward. All in all, we're seeing really solid demand here in Elyson. At the same time, you do need to price your home correctly. It's important that you talk to your realtor, understand the interpretation of the data and how it applies to your home, your finishes, and to get you that top dollar. And of course, if we can help you, give us a holler.